Fear. Most people are governed by their habits, their fears, and their opinions of others.
Boxing King Media in association with BOXXER, Mr. Johnny Nelson. We've just seen a world title defense from Tasha Jonas. The online world has gone mad. Everyone's saying that, Maya should have won. So I just want to get your expert opinion. How did you read it?
I thought the fight was close. If it was a draw, I wouldn't have complained. If it had gone one way either way, I wouldn't have complained. So if you said my by round, I think it was that tight. I kind of figured that's the kind of fight it would have been in the first place. If Natasha didn't start fast, she'd have lost the fight. The back end of the fight, I thought Michaela came on strong. I've just been in the dressing room, Michaela's dressing room. I said, do not let this break your heart. Do not give up. You will be world champion and be world champion for a while. It just wasn't your night tonight. She's a very clever, intelligent fighter. Natasha is too. Natasha in the ring said, look, this is probably my last year in boxing. She can do what's best for her because she's 39. She's 40 in middle of the year. So that's why I saw from round 8 onwards, I thought, now you're looking 39. And its pace is going to take this fight away from you. And she just pipped it by the post. She got away with it, but it was tight. And it's subjective. But as I say, if it was the other way around, I wouldn't complain. If it was a draw, I wouldn't have complained. That's how tight the fight was.
And obviously the next move for her, do you see a rematch happening, or do you think maybe she'll go down a different route?
Don't want no rematch. Unless they offer her more than any other match against anybody else, they want me no rematch.
I know there was a lot of talk of Terry Harper versus Tasha Jonas. I know that boat's kind of sailed because it was a potential undisputed fight at one point. Would you like her to maybe revisit one of the old rematches? Maybe Terry, Katie Taylor, Chantal Cameron, Sandy Ryan?
I'd like for Natasha. I'd like her to get in a fight that makes her the most money, that works best for her. Because this is an unforgiving sport. And especially in female boxing, they don't get paid the money they deserve. We're in 2024, January. We've just seen potentially fight of the year already. 2 honest pros that were there, toe-to-toe, giving it all. You don't see that very often. You will see one just faking it, trying to hustle their way through. You've got 2 fighters that were honest, had integrity. They got in there, they got on with the fight. So I want Natasha to finish this year making dough. I want her to get paid as much as she possibly can. So when she walks away from our sport, she's happy, she's comfortable.
Just want to quickly speak to you about a couple of other things, Johnny. This week we've seen, the Smith brothers have got a bit of stick online for, obviously they've talked about, Beterbiev's atypical finding, etc. I spoke to some of the people from Beterbiev's team. Obviously their side is that it wasn't a failed test. It's quite common what came up. Where do you kind of sit with it all from, looking at both sides and what they're both saying?
Sometimes when a fighter loses, you accept it and walk away. If he failed the drug test, he wouldn't have been able to box. End of story. So everybody can throw accusations and when they lose, and we've seen it before. And so the Smith brothers are getting stick. I understand they're emotionally invested, involved, but to me, it just sounds like there has to be some kind of excuse, some kind of, and unless it's proven, you can't make that accusation. You just can't unless it's proven, because you can get sued. And so I'm quite sure there are fighters out there that have taken gear and gotten away with it. On this occasion, Beterbiev, he didn't get done. So therefore, as far as they're concerned, he did nothing wrong. So you can't accuse a fighter he won because he was cheating, because the style he fought, as I say, drugs do not make you a better fighter. What Beterbiev did, he was strong, he was powerful, he was on pressure, he broke Callum down. The better boxer won. Callum said that on the night. So hindsight's a great thing, but to me, it just sounds like sour grapes.
We've also seen talk of a potential Chris Eubank Jr. versus Kell Brook fight. It's been a rumour online. I know Kell was here to. So what do you think?
He's in the room doing the talks now. They've got to put an unbelievable character there for Kell to sell his soul, and that's what he'll be doing, because I said, Kell, listen, you do what's best for you, But remember, if you do it for the wrong reasons, you're going to have to live with the consequences. And so if Kel decides that he's going to do it and he's going to give it his whole heart and soul to do it, well, good on him. I wouldn't want you asking my opinion. Would I want to see him come back? No, I want him to be happy. And that is wealth.
If coming back makes him happy, and obviously normally we see Kel blown up and he looks quite puffy in the face, but he looks like somebody who's training and keeping well. If he turns up, say even 80% of what Kell Brook was at, with a good 3-4 month camp, can he beat Chris Eubank Jr.?
I'd always say Kel can beat all these guys, but time is not generous to anybody. And no matter how good a fighter you were, time always right, it's payback now. So Kel, on his day, beats Chris. On his day, beats Connor. On his day. Now you're talking about a Kell Brook that's at the back end of his career. That's older. That's not been in the ring for a while. You're asking him to turn back time and be that Kel. That Kel beats these guys. This version of Kel, they're not. And this is my point when I say, look, think about what you're doing. You see all old-time footballers do it. Old-time footballers do it. They were probably top Premier League players, and they because they love the sport, they stick around. They get sold next minute they're playing for a Sunday League team, and they're talking bitterly about the sport because they want the people remembering them for being a Sunday League player, not for when they were in the heights. And Kel will be in the same situation. It happens in our sport. You want people to respect you as a fighter. You were at the top. And if you carry on and you end up, listen, it's his call. It's his call. If you want to do it for the dough, you do it for the dough. But I personally think, you're looking at Kel's condition now. He's content. He's finding peace. But that temptation's there to say, here, take this little carrot here. I wouldn't like to say it, but he's going to do what's best for him.
Reminds me of the time there was a British fighter wanting to come out of retirement to fight a WBO champ called Marco Hook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was me, and that's what I'm saying. And
how old were you at that time?
Probably 30, not 40. Probably might have been older than that. But I knew that. Looking at Marco Hook, I thought I'd beat you. I'm coming out to fight you. I'm not coming out to come back and have a boxing career because I'm too old. There's a lot of young guys out there that they've just got the pace, but they haven't got the wisdom. Marco Hook didn't have the pace or the wisdom. I thought, man, that's an easy win. And the reason why it didn't happen is because they knew it was an easy win. So I understand that. But again, I'm glad it didn't happen. I'm glad it didn't happen because what if I made the same mistake that I'm saying these guys are making? Be happy.
He's actually still fighting. I think somebody messaged me something about him the other day. Yeah, he's still fighting. It's crazy.
And remember, the same guy who I said the only reason why he wins is because he stays in Germany. The first time he stepped out of Germany, he got knocked out. And so what I said about this guy was bang on right. He's a bully. He's got to just stay on his feet to get to the end of the fight, and he wins. We're never going to put him in with me. And that's what I thought. That's a big glory day fight. But common sense is common sense.
Most importantly, he didn't break your record, so he still got that record. And the last thing we've seen recently with Frank and Eddie Hearn working with the Saudis, and obviously people suggesting, and will we see Sky get involved? Will we see Ben Shalom? Would you like to see Ben Shalom get involved in that mix and make some cross-promotional fights, or do you think the ship sailed?
You're talking about Frank and Eddie, you're talking about guys that have put the years in and got the experience that deserve that position. Ben Shalom is the new kid on the block, so therefore he's got to get his experience and fight his way and grapple his way and take his licks to get to that point where he said, right, I've taken my licks, I deserve to be able to sit around the table. And Ben, Ben has put on some good fights. Ben himself will say, look, I've not got the same experience of these guys, so I'll be classed as naive. And so therefore, if you want to sit at the table, you want to make sure you've got as good a chance as anybody.
And the last question I've got for you, we saw the back and forth between Eddie Hearn and Lennox Lewis early in the week, but the point Lennox was making was that AJ shouldn't deserve to fight for the undisputed on the back end of beating Ngannou and Wallin.
I agree.
Based on that.
I agree. I don't think it's fair that Ngannou gets the opportunity to be in a position to fight for the undisputed. You've got guys that are number 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 going through that deserve the opportunity. And And so that's just how it is. You know, it's just not, if you've done this all your life, you've been in that position, and just because one fighter underestimated another, so the other fighter that was underestimated, you know, still lost, but now is in a position to fight for the undisputed. How's that fair on all the other fighters that have done it all their life, that have been in all the tough fights, fought former world champions, been up and down and done all of it? How's that fair? That's not fair. I understand Eddie defending himself because the same fighter, he poo-pooed it when it was somebody else fighting him. So he's a promoter. He's got to promote his fighter. He's got to do his job. So, and Eddie's a great promoter. So I understand where Eddie's coming from. I understand why he's doing it, but I also understand Lennox Lewis is an accomplished fighter that knows it, that gets it, that's done it, that's been there. So he understands the ethics, he understands the right and the wrong of it. And so I agree with Eddie, but it's business.
Johnny Nelson, as always, appreciate your time, and I'll catch you at the next one.
I agree with Lennox. Because that's business.
Fair play. Johnny, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Listen, I got a question for you. Where can discipline take you? Discipline points you towards your goals.